How was your adjustment to living and studying in Japan? Let's hear what our Study in Japan students have to say.
When I first moved here, it was fall or yung autumn season, going into winter. So there was a little bit of adjustment coming from a tropical country. Usually when you're traveling, if you go to Japan during winter, all you have to prepare is your own winter clothes. Tapos yung heater mo sa hotel na, si hotel na yung bahala. But if you live here, you have to learn how to prepare your own apartment for it. Also, you have to have a little know-how how to save up on, say, electricity costs para hindi ka lagi naka-heater. Things like that. So, that was one of the biggest adjustments. But it wasn't that hard. And now it's almost summer. So, yeah.
This is not my first time living alone and living abroad. So, I adapted easily. Una kong ginawa was sinerch ko kung saan yung mga murang grocery stores. And then, alam ko yung mga necessary needs ko lang. So I didn't shop a lot. I didn't go out a lot because first term of dumating ako October, JLP2 was in December. So I didn't go out even though it was autumn. I knew I had to study. I knew I had to pass the NC. I spent a lot of studying but generally adjusted naman ako agad. Nung October though, mag-winter na nun. Thankfully, may mga nag-advise sa akin where to buy cheap winter clothes. That's one difficult thing. Lalo na kung galing sa Philippines, because sanay sa winter, and kung sabi ka ng mga heater, you need to prepare the necessary but cheap things you should have in preparation for winter.
Moving to Japan wasn't too shocking for me, at least in terms of the usual adapting to your environment. Of course, there's the language, which is different, but it's always going to be a different thing. Even if you move to like an English-speaking country, like the way they speak is still different from how you speak, right? Generally, though, what I've found when it comes to moving to a different country and living there is that the first few months are always going to be more surreal. You haven't yet fully accepted, or at least your mind hasn't fully accepted that you are in this new situation, that you're living in this new situation. So you're almost still like a tourist. Everything still seems very shiny and new. Well, for the first few weeks, actually, you're a bit too preoccupied with getting everything done. Like, because even after moving to Japan, right, you still have to sort out some documents. You have to go to the city hall and you have to get your health insurance and you get your My Number card and all these other things that you need to sort out. You need to find like a good place to buy groceries. You need to find a place to buy furniture or everything else, basically getting your bearings, finding the best commute path, that sort of thing. After that, yeah, like I said, you end up more as a tourist, or at least you have the tourist mindset, at least for the first few months. And then after that, that's when it starts to really sink in. Like your situation is different. And so you start to feel the issues or any like troubles or difficulties with like the change in culture a bit more during that period. But it does get better. Like you adapt to it.
Well, in terms of adjustment, ako lang to, pero mas madali ako naka-adjust kasi mas gusto ko talaga na mag-isa ako. Parang, mas gusto ko na ng tahimik. Minsan nalulungkot ako kasi yun nga, hindi ako sanay na sobrang tahimik nga. Kasi namimiss ko rin yung family ko, yung friends ko, ganun. Pero, yun naman, parang compared to others na syempre sobrang lapad sa family, ganun. Hindi naman sa sinasabi ko malayo ako sa family ko. Malapit rin naman ako. Pero kasi lumaki kasi kami na parang kanya-kanya lang, basically. Parang natuto kaming maging independent ng maaga. So, in terms of adjustment, okay naman. Mabilis naman ako naka-adjust. Pero yun nga, di ko rin naman hindi na minsan nga, nakakalungkot.
It didn't take too long for me to adjust because, the processing of documents here from your status change on your residence card and moving from one place to another and all of that, it's been very smooth, very convenient. So I don't think one person would encounter much trouble. So that's one of the pros to living here, would definitely be the, convenience. That's about it.
Actually, this wasn't my first time coming to Japan, but this was my first time staying in Japan in the long term. So I already knew about the language and culture, but what I didn't know about was municipal hall, yung mga government-related things. Kasi there's a lot of forms that you have to fill out. And when you're moving to a new address, you have to notify the municipal hall that you're moving from and take a form. And then you have to submit that form to the new municipal hall near your new address para ma-notify sila. And then they'll punch it into the system and then print it in the back of your residence card.
For working and living, unlike sa Philippines, meron tayo yung manyan habit eh. Pero dito kasi lahat naka-schedule. So, medyo nahirapan ako kasi, like for example, for transportation, pag na-late ka lang ng 1-2 minutes, may hirapan ka na sumakay eh. Kasi mag-antay ka pa ulit na 10-20 minutes pag nalagpasan mo yung schedule ng bus eh. Medyo doon ako nahihirapan pagdating sa work and daily life. Tapos, yung mga, for example, yung mga kitchen product, like yung, sabihin natin, yung suka, yung asin, medyo nalilito pa ako kasi nung una, gumagamit talaga ako ng translator pag nag-grocery ako kasi iba yung pangalan eh, iba yung pangalan ng English, Tagalog, kaysa sa Japanese name. So, doon ako nahirapan pag sa everyday life na paghahanap ng ingredients na kailangan ko para makapagluto ako ng ganitong dish. So, kailangan habang nagsha-shopping ka, kailangan mo dala yung cellphone mo para i-translate.
At first, since I'm struggling with the language, so I didn't get out of the house for the first few months. I don't go to school. So by the next month after I arrived here in Japan, I started to look for a part-time job to enhance my conversation skills. So after that, I started coming out with my school friends because I now have like confidence of talking to other people with Japanese.
Gonna sugarcoat anything here. Initially, it was very difficult for me because number one, I lived alone and I had to deal with the loneliness. So fortunately for me, I was able to like make a lot of friends in Kyoto Mentai. So I've gained a lot of friends, both Filipinos and other nationalities. I was able to go through all that loneliness. Because of them, I'm very thankful for that. Also, another difficulty I had was, of course, like going grocery or buying the stuff I need because first and foremost, I don't know the place. Second is the language barrier again. I only understood 10% of what the Japanese staffs were telling me. I'm just saying hi all the time. So I can see the weird out reactions they had when my answer was not related to their questions. So definitely, probably some of you will also experience that. But you know, it's part of adjusting. I think that's normal and I learned from it. It was a learning experience. All of that hardship will eventually turn out to be very beneficial to you, I believe, because it's very beneficial for me. It's a big thanks to Kyoto Mensai as well for, you know, the lessons they teach. It's very useful for like everyday living here in Japan. So I was able to adjust in around 3 months and now I am having a blast like living here. Still of course practicing Nihongo in a way that I can for my everyday life here, but yes, it will take time, it will be difficult at first, but for me it is all worth it.
Yung experience ko sa pag-adjust ko dito sa Japan, it was a mix of things. It was hectic, it was hard, it was terrifying, and it was amazing. Then I feel like I took a crash course sa pagiging independent in just 1 month. And I experienced a lot of new experiences. Then I met a lot of new people. And I learned Japanese real quick. And I handled all of the needed requirements and papers coming here to Japan, and I also bought a lot of household items, big household items while commuting, and it was an experience that was really new and gratifying at the same time for me. So it was a lot, and I'm glad na I'm out of that situation, but I'm also glad na na-experience ko yun kasi I grew a lot from that.